Welcome back to Gomer Games. Alright, we're doing a short tip today. I was on social media earlier today and I noticed a couple comments in a couple of the Cities Skylines forums about this particular subject, and I wanted to do a short video to get it up on YouTube here because there's a lot of people that still do not know some of these secrets on your tree count. There is a limit to the number of trees that you can have on the map. It's quite a few. I think it's like 350,000 or something like that. It's way up there. But when you're adding in all 81 tiles, that goes very quickly. And here's a couple modded and vanilla tricks to saving that count. Number one, the first thing is when you lay down a road or a building of any type, and you just grab the road and plop it down, those trees beneath that road are still there, and they still count towards that tree count. So if you go through here, and I'm going to use the move it marquee window here to erase these trees here, just to make it kind of easier to see. But as you see, I've erased all the trees around the road. There we go. I've erased all the trees around the road right here. And obviously when I erase the trees there, it takes off the tree count, so there's more to add back later. But the problem that people don't realize is if you grab this road and you grab this node and you move it, there's trees under there. And all those trees count towards your tree count. So anytime you plop a road down, or a building, or even a zoned building. So if you go in and you zone, say you want to zone a low density residential right here, and you just go in and you plop that in, or paint that in, and all this is zoned low residential. When those buildings fill in, when the game fills in, all those trees are covered up. They are not erased. They are not deleted from the game. They're just covered up. Because the second that you hit bulldozer and you go in and you delete the tree, delete the building, or delete the road or whatever, the trees pop right back up because they are still there. So that's not. That could literally save you. If you're talking about a large city, that could save you hundreds of trees, maybe even a couple thousand, depending on how big your city is, depending on the area. I mean, it could be, if you're building in a heavily forested area like this, it could be thousands of trees that you're adding back. The second tip is try to use props for instead of using trees. If you go into the trees and sorry, things are running a little slow today, but you go into the trees and say there's bushes or trees or whatever you want to do to add the decoration to your buildings or to the residential. See if you can find props to replace those, like this here. This is a small bush. See if you can go in and place this down. This counts as a tree. Those little small bushes there count as trees. And then we have large bushes here, and those count as trees, so they come off your tree count. But if you go over here and you have any props that you can find, to replace it. Either these bushes here, I think these come with Park Life, maybe. Um, and then these I did download. So this is, you'd have to be on PC for this. But these bushes here I use in place of these little bushes all the time. Just because I think they look better, but they're props. And they do count towards your prop count. But I've never really ran into a prop count problem. Trees I tend to run in, the tree count I run into all the time. So that helps me out a lot there. And but they just work as props, so easily substitute for these bushes and everything that count as uh, uh, trees. Another tip here is yes, these are props too, but use the vegetation. And what you want to do is just layer the vegetation over, and you can use that as kind of a filler. Um, so maybe you could just put in some grass here. This is the comes with the latest update. I think it was the same time as the airport DLC. I think everybody got it for free. I think it just updated, it downloaded. So I'm pretty sure console users have it, and vanilla PC players can get it also. But they have these flowers. Now these do count as trees. And then there's also the wild hedges. And then there is the grass here too, tall grass. But if you place the vegetation in there, you don't have to use as much of these other things to fill in the space. So maybe you could do that, uh, kind of way over exaggerating the area here, but as you can see, I'm filling that in. I filled that in quite nicely right there. Just with a couple, there's a half a dozen there, half a dozen pieces of grass there. Whereas if I took the vegetation out, um, get that without deleting any of the grass. There we go. And see, as I take the vegetation out, it looks a lot more. It looks a lot plain, and it doesn't fill in as nicely as with the vegetation. So if you lay this vegetation down, and this vegetation does not count towards the tree count, I think it counts. I think it counts as a prop. Honestly, I think it does count as a prop. I'm not 100% sure. Actually, we could find out. Yeah, they count as props, or at least that's how Move It recognizes them as with props. So that's my third tip there. So I just wanted to do a quick tip video on that, just to let people know that these trees under these roads do count towards your tree count. And if you go in and delete them, either after the fact or probably your best thing to do would be to go in. I know it's kind of difficult being on a console or playing vanilla to go in and delete it without Move It. But if you go in, I guess it helped to have trees there. Go in and delete a whole area and then build and then add your trees back later. That way you don't have to worry about wasting your tree count on buildings or roads or structures of any sort or anything like that. If you have any comments, feel free to leave those. Any questions, feel free to leave those also. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. And we'll see you next time on Gomer Games. Have a great day.